All right, the tallest group we've brought in here before. Yeah. All right, with us right now we have Brandon Lee, Jack Doherty, Cam Barnes. Brandon today, career high 10 points. Cameron today, career high 13 points. Jack, career high 9 rebounds. We'll take questions from the group.
Brandon, what did it feel like to kind of get out there and get going, especially with the career high?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously with Chase out, he's just a little banged up right now, nothing serious, but, good to step up when your number's called on. I thought, still some stuff to clean up offensively, but, I'm kind of pleased with the way I played and just got to keep building on it.
Cameron, what does that much playing time do for you in your development?
Just keep going every day, keep pushing it, getting better.
Does it make you feel more comfortable the more you're out there in a game like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Just getting acclimated. I was out for like 5 weeks with injury, so like games like this is just really good for me, like development wise, and getting my win back and stuff like that.
Jack, is it important for the team when you are ahead by a lot in a game like this to really keep up the effort?
Yeah, Coach stressed on it a couple times. We want to play to a standard, no matter who we're playing, whoever's coming up on the schedule in the future. We're doing our best right now, and we're really just harping on playing to our standard and our DNA as a team.
Jack, last weekend, you guys played USC. Now, as the bigger school, you're on the reverse side of that. How do you guys take kind of that experience and put it into this game?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot out west. I think we have a lot of bullet points that we really need to hit, and I think this game was a good game for us to really just go out there and play hard. We talked about it a lot in the locker room. We talked a lot about it in practice, kind of like I said earlier, just playing with our DNA and our principles. And, just taking what we learned out west, applying it to this game, and then just building on it for the games coming up soon.
Brandon, as one of the veterans on this team, kind of how have you seen not only the younger players like Coleman and Cleveland grow, but the other guys like Pence, Johnny, and even Chase?
Yeah, I've been with them since their freshman year here. Obviously, I missed last year, but seeing their development as leaders, I think, is a huge thing, especially Johnny, Ty, and I being captains this year. I've really noticed Ty kind of getting out of his shell with his voice. And then, yeah, the freshmen, I mean, they're a mature group. They're coming in, they're, ears, eyes wide open. They're just trying to learn. I really respect that as an older guy. And, I think program's in really good hands with them.
Brandon, first, congrats on career high, huge. Obviously, first half of your career playing in Illinois, now you're here. Are there any kind of parallels that you're kind of seeing between the groups you've been playing with here compared to some of those Illinois teams you played with?
Yeah, we had a lot of I was on a lot of talented teams at Illinois for sure. One thing I will say, I just think this group of guys I've been with this year most of all, but definitely last year, my first year, we kind of built this culture, and like the guys gel together so well. At high major programs, they can get all the 5 stars and the talent, and they got all the NIL, but we're kind of trying to form a blue-collar type culture here with Coach P, and that's what he harps on a lot. So, maybe we're not getting the most highly recruited guys, but the guys we do get are good people, play hard, and we're playing the right way. So I think that's going to be good for us.
Anybody else? All right, thanks, gentlemen.
Sir. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully by the next week we'll have this background back up, so.
Nice. What's up, guys?
All right, Coach, a big win today. Can we get your thoughts on the game? We'll take questions from the group.
Yeah, I was proud of our effort tonight. I thought you know that was going to be our biggest challenge is you know, going there and back to the West Coast, playing 2 games in 3 days. We tried to navigate the last few days appropriately, working on the things we got to get better at, but also with appropriate rest. And I thought we played hard for 40 minutes, and I'm looking for incremental growth and improvement. And I think you saw some of that on display tonight. Some of that came in the form of tangible stats. Some of that came in the form of things that people on the outside probably don't notice, the casual observer. So continuing to grow. Tonight was a good night, and you know, let's keep building.
Coach, Chase Walker out with a calf injury, calf strain. Do you have a timeline on his how long to be out?
Yeah, I don't have a timeline. You know, I'm hopeful that he'll be able to return here soon. I don't think it's anything long-term, but I have not got a report from the doctors here tonight. I think it's a day-to-day issue.
And last weekend you guys played USC. Tonight you play Rockford. You know, USC a high major, Rockford a Division III. You guys have now been on the both ends of being the team that's punching up and now a team that's facing a lower school. How did that experience facing USC help that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think you know, when you schedule those kind of games, you know, you know what you're going up against at some level. You know, you're going against high-level athletes, length, size, and really good coaching. And you know, I think USC. I tried to praise them after that game as much as I could because I think USC was playing and is playing very well for a team with 14 new players. Very well. Sometimes that takes longer to mesh, but I thought they were playing very, very well for this time of year, and they're very talented. So I think that'll be told in time. What did we learn from that? What do we take from that? You know, I think it gives you immediate feedback on the areas that you got to get better. You know, I thought we generated great shots, really good shots against a defense that their defense is impressive. It's real. No one's even shot in the 40% against USC. I thought we generated really good shots. I didn't think we made not nearly enough shots. And, you know, you don't beat a team like that making 6 3-pointers. So I think there's a lot to be learned. Some of that will be told over time. Tonight, yeah, you're playing a non-Division I team, but I wanted to play a team that I thought would play very hard, is very scrappy, and is well coached, and I think Rockford is. You know, again, what do we learn from that? What do we take from that? I'm sure there's some confidence I can say right away, like it gives us a rhythm. It gave us some confidence. It allowed you know, everybody on the roster to play and score tonight. That's a good thing. But what we do with that, that'll be told over time. And some short-term, but some also long-term. And bottom line is win, lose, or draw this time of year, you got to get the feedback, go back to the drawing board, and keep just chipping away at this thing, man. And I intend on us doing that and improving.
Coach, first congrats on the win. You kind of mentioned how everybody got to get in and score tonight. 2 of those being Tyreek and Lavo. How does it feel to have 2 of those freshmen contributing as much as they were tonight? And do you think with those contributions, we'll be seeing them play more and more as the season goes on?
Yeah, they'll determine that. Do I think? I think those 2 are dynamite. I've been saying that all along. I think, you know, you all know Tyreek's been getting a lot of the acclaim, and when you're a freshman, you're running your own race, right? Like his race may not be at the same rate or speed that yours is. Johnny Kinzinger's and Ty Pence's and Chase Walker's were all very different at this time in their freshman year, their journeys. Tyreek's been rightfully so getting a lot of the attention, but at every opportunity that I have, when asked, I always I like to talk about Mason as much as I like to talk about Tyreek. I love them both. I love them both. I just think both have the it factor. You know, they're talented. Yeah, they're really good players, but I think they have the it factor. And, you know, over time, those two playing together, playing off each other, I think they're both very different, like fire and ice. And I think in time, that'll be a great thing for the Redbirds, hopefully in the short term, but also I think long term. And yeah, I hope that this experience tonight and some of the experience that they've gotten here early in the season will be good for us here as we get into league play January, February, and March.
And then another guy that was thinking of tonight, Brandon Lee, career high points tonight in a single game. I was kind of asking this earlier. He came from Illinois, played some great Illinois teams over there, and now he got some veteran presence over here. What's it like to have a guy like that that's had some experience at those higher levels down here in that healthy guy?
Yeah, he's like an old sage for our team in our locker room. He's the old wise man, and you know, and he is. He's an old wise man. He's about 29 years old, and he's in his 6th year. But he's a smart young man. He's a smart young man. He's mature. A lot of the characteristics that he demonstrates off the floor lead to his success on the floor. I think he's a team guy all the way. I think he's learned how to be very resilient over time. His journey was very slow starting, right? And to see him get a double-double any night, don't care who you're playing, that's a great thing. You know, you're talking about a guy going into 6th year, hadn't played 300 minutes in his whole college career coming into this year. So I try to keep that perspective as best I can. I want to keep encouraging him. But the game experience, he's... you know, it's not what you would think for a 6th year. And I applaud him because that takes a lot of resilience over time. And I just love what he's about. The players respect him. He's a captain. And I'm just going to keep investing in him.
And when did Chase get hurt, and has he been out of practice recently?
Yeah, he has. And it was in later. I noticed it later in the game. It might have been bothering him before that, but I noticed it later in the game, in the Long Beach game. We had to take him out, and it was just a strain. I think it's more of a muscle strain than anything, from what I've been told. And, yeah, I'm hopeful, obviously, that we get him back. A lot of things flow through him. He's getting back to being himself. You know, remember, Chase missed a big chunk of the fall, and I think some players, it affects their rhythm and timing more than others. I think it's affected his a little bit. And I've seen growth from game 1 to game 4. I saw a continued growth, not always in the form of the results, but the timing, just getting back to being him. And, you know, he's gonna play a major role and a major factor for us. So we definitely need to get him back, and we're hopeful that that'll be soon.
Do you think Cameron Barnes kind of took advantage of his playing time tonight?
I do. He was gassed out there. You know, he was playing hard, but he was gassed. I think tried to give him some shorter bursts early in the second half, and then I like the things that he brings to the table. He can do things that no one else on our team can do. He can get above the rim, his length, his athleticism. I think he's got some great characteristics. I'm looking for the consistency of that on a day-to-day basis, and it's gotten better. But that will determine his ultimately his trajectory and how high that'll go. And I was very proud of him tonight because I thought he did a very good job, and he's responded to some of the challenges that we've given him.
So the timing and scheduling this game, is it a bit of a transition from the California trip to the rest of the schedule?
Well, the way it worked out, I would say, yeah, it's a little bit of a transition. You know, your non-Division I opponent, there's different philosophies out there. We've opened the season with one before. I try to schedule that game usually last, just based on where the other pieces fit into place. And scheduling it was very difficult this offseason for a lot of teams, not just us. I just think the process gets later and later because of all the movement with the roster transitions in the spring. Used to be, your schedule was mostly done. Now nobody does their schedule till May. So it's, nobody wants to schedule when they don't, a team when they don't know who's on the team. And a couple of the games that we scheduled, you have to decide whether you want to wait it out or, overlook that. And, we knew USC was going to have a whole new team, 14 new guys, and that was a game we were going to take on anyways.
Coach, Jack was 14 tonight. What's it kind of say about getting him going?
Yeah, I was asked this on the radio about, getting Jack's shot going and all that. I'm going to start and end this conversation with the 9 rebounds. Okay, Jack Doherty brings so many great characteristics to our team on the floor, in the locker room, the type of person he is, how coachable he is. I love the kid. He's got to rebound the ball better, and I've really challenged him with that. He responded. Like, we got done with our huddle in the locker room, and he was the first, he sought me out, and I said, man, I'm just so freaking proud of you, the way he responded. 9 rebounds. You're talking about a guy that's had 4 rebounds over the last 6 games, hadn't had 1 offensive rebound in 10 games. I've recited that a few times in the last few days here. And, it's challenge. It's a challenge. So much of these young people and their journey, right, is going to be determined by how they respond to the tough stuff, how they respond to the stuff they don't want to hear, how they respond to the tough days and the failures or the not making shots or the losses or whatever that may be. And it's a small sample size. It's a 1 game example here. But I love how he responded to the challenge, and it shows you what he's made of. And I believe in him. I'll go on record saying that I believe in that kid. But for us to be great, he's going to have to rebound the basketball if he's going to play major minutes.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.